Today's video is going to be about something I get asked about a lot, and it is how to be a paid influencer, a paid blogger, a paid vlogger, a paid Instagrammer, anything that you do online that you get paid for basically, hopefully, being you. And I say being you because I think that the easiest way to get to where you want to be online is to be you. It is the most effortless way because you don't have to pretend that you're somebody you're not. You don't have to put up a front, and just by being you, maybe you can eventually make, as I do, a living full time. First of all, no matter what, if you don't have a blog already or a URL with your name or some kind of idea of what you want to share online, that is the first order of things. What are you so passionate about that you would, first of all, do it for free, do it consistently, and do it for a long period of time? So when I launched my website, Viva 50 with letters, viva50.com, maybe 6 years ago, I already had an online presence because I had been working online for a number of years, and I had established my own name, lorenciladish.com, which you can go visit. And I had my Twitter handles, I had Facebook. I was known online to the people that mattered to me, so that when I launched viva50.com, it would be profitable. It was profitable very fast. Now, if you don't have that already established online presence, which in my case has grown over the years and expanded and evolved, then this is what I'm going to suggest to you. First of all, think of a URL, a name that you want to use for your website or online presence. And I still recommend a website, even though a lot of people say it doesn't matter and it's not necessary. I feel that that's a great place for you to have your home, a place to have your business card presence, a place where people can contact you, a place where you could have a blog, and where people can reach you if they want to work with you. So whether you use it a lot or you don't, I would still recommend that you at least secure the URL for a web page that is your home. Remember that when you're posting on social media, you're really posting on rented territory. And even if you're not paying for it, it's still something that could disappear. I just had to redo my media kit and take away Google Plus because Google Plus no longer exists. Remember Vine? Yeah, that's not around anymore. So I'm going to try and tell you what social media platforms you could be using, which might not work in a couple of years from now because things will probably have evolved. But I would choose 2, maybe 3 social media platforms that you absolutely love. Again, if you hate pinning, you are just not going to do it every day. So don't even try from the beginning. If you can't hire someone to do it for you, which is a great option, of course, I'm just assuming that this is you with your enthusiasm and your want to share your ideas. So yeah, just choose 1 or 2. And which 1 or 2? Right now in 2019, at the beginning of it, I would say Instagram and Facebook are 2 great social media platforms, even though Facebook is very much pay to play, but it is still a great source of creating community if you do Facebook groups, for example, and it is also a great source of to drive traffic to your website if you have, as I do, a budget for Facebook ads. That is today in 2019, and that might change. Today, I would also say that Instagram is a fabulous place to be because it works like a search engine, and you can use hashtags for people to find you and for you to find people, like-minded people, and to be found by brands as well. So Twitter, I still use Twitter, and even though people say Twitter's dead, I have 2 handles there, lorenciladish and viva50. I use them for different things. I personally use it more for curating content, communicating with people, also, it's a great place to be found. I have actually been found by literary agents where nothing came of one of the contacts, but hey, they still reached out to me because they found me on Twitter. So this is the deal. The more social media platforms you are on, the more likely you are to be found. Take YouTube. I usually don't get paid to do YouTube videos. I do them because I find that they're a wonderful way to engage with community as well. But brands have found me through YouTube, and maybe they didn't want a YouTube video, but maybe they wanted to hire me for a speaking engagement, and maybe they wanted to hire me for something else, but that is how they found me. So YouTube is still, even though you're competing with a ton of content out there, but it is still also a great search engine in which to be found for your area of expertise. So say that you don't know exactly what you want to blog about or vlog about. I would say pick something. I mean, just riff a few ideas, and then pick something that you could do for 5 to 10 years comfortably. And because you're going to get burned out, you're going to be bored, you're going to want to quit many times. But if you pick something that you absolutely love, it is more likely that you will stay the course. Nobody has, as far as I know, nobody has become an overnight success, like they started a blog on Monday and Saturday they were making 6 figures. But over time it is possible. I have done it. I have broken those 6 figures, and one of the things I tell myself every day is I am so lucky. Not lucky, because I feel like I built my luck just by being consistent and continuing to put out the content. Don't wait until everything is in place to launch whatever it is that you're doing. I'm going to give you an example. My latest project is called The Flawed Yogini, as in somebody who has flaws. Yoga Flaws, The Flawed Yogini. So I still don't have my website, but I bought the URL months ago when I started thinking of this project. So I have the URL. And not only that, I made sure that all social media handles were available with the same name so that I could immediately create accounts on all of them. That does not mean that I'm going to use absolutely every single social media platform, but it does ensure that nobody else takes my name. I do recommend that you're consistent with your branding, at least with the name. If you are, in my case, again, I want to use the same example. If I'm the Flawed Yogini on Instagram, I'm the Flawed Yogini on Facebook, and I'm the Flawed Yogini on Twitter, and it is spelled the same way everywhere. That is super, super important. It's much easier to tell someone I'm the Flawed Yogini everywhere than, oh, I'm the Flawed Yogini /_00 on Twitter and the _ whatever on Instagram, etc. So make sure that the name you want is available on all social media channels. Secure them immediately. And if you don't have a website, then redirect your URL, as I have done, to another one of my websites while I'm building and thinking of what I'm going to do. Why do I say this? For example, in my personal Instagram account, which I opened when Instagram started, and I had no idea what I was doing, it has slowly, very slowly grown to almost 20,000 followers. But that did not happen overnight. I started it in, I think, 2012 or 2019. That is a long time. But when I thought of doing the Flawed Yogini, even before I had an idea of exactly what I was going to do with that account, I already started posting on my Instagram account for the Flawed Yogini back in, I think it was August, maybe July. No, it wasn't July. It was July because that was when my grandmother died, which I have a video about that. And I felt it was her message to me that I needed to start something, and I did. And so right now I have 1,300 followers, which is not amazing, but it is better than 0. It is also a community that is engaged and wanting to read my content. So it's important to know that while you could acquire 1 million followers through a number of devious ways or fast ways, The important thing is to have an engaged community that is really there for you. So it is much better to have 1,300 engaged followers than a bunch of followers you acquired fast that are not really the kind of quality people that you want to be having a conversation with. Once you have figured out your website, the name you want, the kind of content that you're going to put out there, I'm going to tell you to again, start putting it out, start tweeting, start Facebooking, start just writing blogs, whatever it is that you're going to do, doing videos, and plan to be consistent. And people ask me, what do you mean by consistent? Well, what I mean is if you are going to tweet 8 times a day, which I do, then you're going to tweet 8 times a day, 365 days a year. If you're going to post on Facebook 4 times a day per page, which I do, and I have 3 pages, I'm going to do that 365 days a year. And I eventually got on Pinterest as well, because I realized, even though I do not enjoy Pinterest, but it is a great source of traffic. Some people love Pinterest, but when I got on that wagon, I'm also pinning, I think it's 10 times a day, 365 days a year. So does that mean you have to do things every day? Of course not. If you only decide to tweet once a week, which is, or to Facebook once a week, or to Instagram once a week, then that is going to reduce your exposure and involvement with other people, but it is still going to give you the consistency over time, because after 10 years, when you have been posting once a week or every other day or whatever it is that you decide, then you will have built that community. So now you are posting a certain number of times a week, a day, over time. 6 months have passed, and you feel like, wow, so I'm not engaging with brands. Nobody is reaching out to me. What is going on? At the very, very beginning, a lot of bloggers, and I certainly was one of them, will post for free stuff. And sometimes that free stuff is $50, sometimes it's $25, sometimes it's $200. It depends. Is it okay? Is it not okay to do that? Does it lead to paid work? I'm going to say that it doesn't necessarily lead to paid work. So if you're not willing to post just for the freebie, I would suggest you don't. I have learned that sometimes it's easier for me to just go buy the shampoo that I need or whatever it is without having to do anything in exchange, because my rates now are so much higher that it really, really it's not worth my while to have to, save $100 in exchange for a bunch of work. That is me right now. Somebody asked me the other day and said, well, I'm seeing all these people with fewer than 1,000 followers on Instagram be brand ambassadors. Well, please know that brand ambassador can mean many things. It can mean a bunch of money for representing a brand for a year or 2 or 6 months or 2 months, but it can also mean getting free product. I was recently offered such an ambassadorship, and I really, really liked the product, but I turned it down because it was a lot of work, and I would rather pay for the product and share it with my followers, which I already have done, because I truly enjoy it. So I would say start out by sharing your life, the things you do, the things you enjoy, the brands you use, without a brand having to send you anything. Share what you use on a daily basis and weave it into your content, because after all, when you build trust with people, they will want to know your recommendations, and your recommendations should of course start with stuff that you already use. Have a media kit. Have a media kit from day one. A media kit is could be a one-pager where you list your specialty, what you are blogging or talking about, the audience you have, what are their ages, what are their interests. I would not put any rates there just yet, because that's always negotiable. Quite honestly, whether you have few followers or a lot, that is usually a negotiable figure. Of course, put links to all your social media presence and your updated numbers, and an email or a way for the PR to contact you. Now you might ask, but what do I do with that information? Who do I send it to? Well, when a PR writes to you offering some free stuff that you might not need, you could always answer saying, thank you very much. I never understand bloggers who write back to PRs in an angry way saying, what do you think? Do I work for free? And all that. That's kind of unprofessional and uncalled for. They're doing their job, you're doing yours. And there are two ways that PRs could reach out. One is for editorial content, which just means that they're providing something for you to create content with. It could be an idea, it could be an article, it could be a product. And it's up to you to say, yes, I will use it, or no, and no in a nice way, and that's it. You could always answer back and say, well, I'm not available for this, or I'm not interested in this at this moment, but should you have future paid opportunities, please have my media kit and consider me if you would like to work with me. People will always remember maybe not what you said, but how you made them feel. So if you make PRs and people who want to work with you feel good, I tell you that they are going to work with you more often than if you are not nice to them. I put blinders on. If I didn't, I don't think I could do this. When a lot of bloggers are saying, oh my gosh, we're invisible to marketers and we're over 40 and what's going on, and here I am at 55 making a living full-time doing this. So it's all about don't tell yourself a story. If you tell yourself a story, tell yourself a good one. Like, yes, I'm worth it. Yes, I can do this. And what steps am I going to take to put myself out there and make myself available for the brands who actually do want to find me? I see collaborating with brands as an opportunity to continue giving my content for free to the people who want to read it, listen to it, etc. And it's like, well, a commercial between TV programs, for example. You can watch, well, not so much anymore, but usually you can watch, well, a free YouTube video because there's a commercial in the middle, for example. Otherwise, you have to pay for the other YouTube where you don't see ads and stuff like that. Same with Pandora to listen to music, etc., etc. Making money as an influencer is a wonderful way, just as many others, to make a living sharing stuff you love. But it also requires a lot of work. In the beginning, it was just me. Then I had a team that helped me with social media or other stuff. I have writers. And for the past 2 years, I've worked with a manager. You can look her up. Her name is Joanna Voss, and you can find her at joannavoss.com. We hit the ground running, and she improved everything about what I do so much that now I can devote myself more to creating the content I want to create and not worry about haggling with a brand or sending pitches and stuff like that. But that takes, again, persistence, doing everything consistently, and putting yourself out there. I'm going to tell you one more thing because I want to drag this on forever and ever. Maybe I'll do a part 2 of this. It is that don't think that as a blogger you have to go to all the conferences or you are not going to make money. If I had to choose right now between today, this is me today, between paying my way to a conference and using that money to create more social media or pay for more Facebook ads or something like that, that is what I would do. I would do the second part, because I have received more partnerships from brands that find me online than through face-to-face conversations that I've had. I'm not saying that I have not gotten work in face-to-face meetings, but usually it was because I already knew the person and the in-person meeting kind of just sealed the deal. But please don't think that if you don't have the budget, the time, or the energy to go to a bunch of blogger conferences, know that they're great. Know that you should go to them if you can. But if you can't, do not feel bad, because your content, your work, your consistency, your persistence, and dedication are what are your calling card, and it's all there online and available for brands to find you. If you have any questions, please put them down in the comments section and I will do my best to answer. A few years ago, I wrote and published a book called Reach: From Single Mom on Welfare to Digital Entrepreneur, which you can find on Amazon on Kindle, and I make it free once in a while. And if you want the paper book, you can order that too. And it tells a little bit of my journey of how I reinvented myself and my career from a paper writer, journalist, and book author to writing for the internet and making a living doing that. If you like this video, like it, share it, subscribe to my channel, and well, I hope to see you next time.